Hello everyone. So today welcome back again. From now we'll try and put one video every day and we'll cover for MU class 2 as well. Okay. So we have a pertinent question and which is prevalent to that if we have oil in the boiler then what we are supposed to do, and that is what we are discussing is the observation tank. You must have seen the observation tank. There is a side glass and parallel to that we also have for seeing the side glass there is a bulb also installed over there so that we can have a clear vision of the water, because the oil which is being lighter will float, so it will come on the top and we can have observation. That is the name that is given is the observation tank, so that we keep on observing the water. So if you are in maneuvering situation, then we found if the boiler, then we can change over to the diesel oil and continue the boiler operation. So we can change over it to the diesel oil and we can continue the operation, because generally what we are doing is we are firing in heavy oil, and then we can change over to the switch over to the diesel oil and we can continue our operation. So but if we are in the port and we do not need boiler, or we are at open sea where we do not need boiler, in case if we found oil in the boiler, then we can stop boiler immediately. So if we are in the port and such a situation arises, then we are supposed to immediately stop the boiler. See, oil in the observation tank, that is a critical situation. Now from where it will come and all, there can be a heater leakage and all, purifier room from the purifier. So that is another situation. But what we are supposed to do is stopping the boiler is the best way to reduce oil contamination. So what we do is the stop the boiler. But in some cases we cannot stop the boiler immediately, like cargo discharging operation in oil tanker. In this case we can stop boiler directly. So we can stop the boiler directly. So what we are supposed to do is because since the cargo operation is going on, so what we are supposed to do is we are supposed to inform the cargo control room. So we'll inform the cargo control room to reduce to the load to the minimum. So what we do is to reduce the load to the minimum. And then if you found oil in hot well, then we should check boiler gauge glass for any oil contamination. That we discussed in the beginning, that if we found oil in the hot well, then we are supposed to check the boiler gauge glass for any contamination in the boiler. If oil is there in the boiler, that means gasket tank is full of oil. So if we have that there oil is there, then that means that your gasket tank is full of oil. See, we'll also discuss in one video the construction of this gasket tank. Sometime it is being asked and it is very important. If oil is in the boiler, analyze the boiler operation. So if we have oil in the boiler, then we are supposed to analyze the operation. If in maneuvering, call the bridge and try to stop the boiler as soon as possible. If the port if in port and boiler is in required to operate, then stop the boiler as soon as possible. If discharging in oil tanker, then we cannot stop the boiler immediately. Call the CCR and ask them to reduce boiler load. So if discharging operation, you must have seen in oil tanker, so we have two high pressure boiler or medium pressure boiler we have in parallel, which is running at 16 kg pressure. Okay, so that case we have to reduce the load, because the COPT parallelly 3-4 COPTs must be running. So you have to reduce the load. We have to bring the COPT, stop the COPT. Maybe if discharging, call the CCR and ask for them to reduce the boiler, reduce the steam demand for engine room. So we are supposed to reduce the engine steam demand for engine room. Stop purifier, shut bunker tank steam. So if any bunker tank steam is open, so now we have a requirement that the pour point is generally, so now there is no requirement for opening the bunker tank steam generally, because we have low sulfur fuel. Okay, VLSF for very low sulfur fuel oil, so that there we don't require. Generally it is 10 degree above the pour point which has to be stored. So now that this is coming, until unless you are going in a colder climate, because generally 30 degree or maybe 20 degree 25 degree is the temperature of what is known as the seawater temperature. And then what we have engine room temperature pertinent to that is 40 degree on an average. So your bunker tank steam will be in that way. Call other people for additional power. Now make the team, we make the team. Call for oiler, go for detect oil leakage. Second team with chief engineer and second engineer monitor boiler operation, load and water level. Third team will be dosing phosphate and alkalinity chemical, so we are supposed to dose also. Fourth team will be starting steam blowdown of gasket tank, oil observation pads in tank. Now you can stop the boiler. Chief officer got sufficient time for informing port authority and do changeover. So chief officer has done the changeover. He has reduced the load. COPT must have been stopped. Once he will inform the engine room that you can stop the boiler, then stop the boiler. Allow boiler to cool down. So we are supposed to cool down because it is firing at 16 kg pressure. Then we are supposed to let it cool down. Open the vent valve before it comes to atmospheric pressure. So we are supposed to open the vent valve before it comes to the atmospheric pressure. Open the bottommost flange connection near bottom blow down valve. So this flange has to be opened. Collect the oil in the 200-liter drum. So we generally have 200 liters drum, so in which we are supposed to collect the this oil by opening scum blow down valve of boiler. So we are supposed to open the scum blow down valve of the boiler. Collect the oil till it stops coming in the drum. So we are supposed to collect the oil till it stops coming in the oil. Now oil record book entry 11.4.c. See, this you can refer to in the beginning of the oil record book where the entry has to be made. So it, for a reference, it is given. Maybe in different flag it can be different. So manual collection. Fill little more water in the steam drum. So we are supposed to fill more water in the steam drum. Again collect that water oil to the drum. Once oil stops coming, then carry out alkalinity boiling water procedure. Okay, so in this procedure what we are supposed to do is we are adding chemical and will heat that water by firing the boiler. Chemical reaction takes place, oil will be converted into, so now this here it will be converted into the salts, and that salts can be discharged into sea. Now add chemical Na3PO4 trisodium phosphate 4 to 5 kg per 1000 kg of water. Chemical can be added through manhole door or dosing tank will feed or through feed pump. Stop feed pump. Raise steam pressure slowly to working pressure. Keep the pressure for 3-4 times with the closed main steam stop valve. So we are supposed to close the main steam stop valve and then we are supposed to raise the steam. Starts coming water level between normal water level and high water level. Now start skimming and lower water level to lower edge of the normal water level mark. Close the scum valve, refill the boiler with feed water and start skimming again in intervals of 30 minutes for a period of 2 hours. So we are supposed to do for it for 30 minutes for a period of 2 hours. Stop the boiling out procedure by switching off the burner. Let the boiler water rest for 5 minutes. Okay, so it will cool down. Carry out final skimming. Depressurize boiler and allow to cool down. Open vent valve. Do blow down and remove water from the boiler. Open manhole door and inspect physically from inside of a drum. So we are supposed to open the manhole door and inspect physically inside of the drum. Okay. Wash with fresh water and clean the drum and remove any deposit and foreign substance. So if there is any foreign particles or foreign substances, then we are supposed to remove it. Now close the manhole door and blow down valve and start filling water in the boiler. Increase the pressure slowly to working pressure, and now we can put the boiler into service. So this is a combined net at all procedure, so you can stop it in between and then you can have a look at it and then you can make a note of it. See, my idea is to put up the expected answer, the expected questions, what the surveyor is expecting from us. My idea is not to teach you at all, because you all are familiar with the things what we are doing on board, because coming at this level you must have sailed, you must be knowing the things, knowing the procedure. Is just you are browsing your brain with all these steps. Okay, I'm not a teacher at all, I'm repeating it again and again. So please have a go through it and then it will be clear for you. So this is the expected answer what the surveyor is expecting. It's a very important question, that what we are supposed to do when there is oil in the boiler, when we are observe it in the observation tank. Thank you so much, all the very best.